Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of, part episode of the Bell to Bell podcast, where we're doing more reviews of what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host, DJ Mainstream, the voice of the voiceless, pending. And this one is going to be more geared to AEW. Shout out to Blackout the Rebel, who has WWE Speed content out, WWE LFG content that's out, Evolve content that's coming out. It's a lot of happening in the world of professional wrestling. So I say, you know what? Let me take on some of the AEW workload here. What I want to do is have an all elite week, which is basically me covering Dynamite and Collision for the past week. So I said, why not? Let's try it for the first week. Fresh, about a few weeks off of AEW All in London. AEW All in Texas. Looking towards London and the O2 for Forbidden Door. Let's get right into it. From jump, I want to say how much I love how we're just dragging the whole of the Young Bucks deeper and deeper. Gave them a jobber entrance, talent name, social media. I feel like there's also a little nod to when they kind of messed up Cody's entrance a few months back, but that's neither here nor there. It was a great match between them and the Outrunners going on to the Eliminator tournament they have for the Tag Team Championships. I want to say, and I commented this on Twitter, shout out to Lyric Wrestling. I commented on her thought process of how FTR and Young Bucks are seemingly wanting to work with the Outrunners, but it feels like Outrunners still need like that benchmark feud. And I had commented and said they need dance partners. Who goes forward from here? I would love to see. I don't feel like the Outrunners should go anywhere away from the tag team hunt. They should remain in AEW Tag Team Championship hunt. How they move forward, I'm not sure. We now transition over to Shelton Benjamin running into MJF. Shelton getting the most talk time he's had in AEW since being there was very surprising, but I loved it. Not saying Shelton can't talk, but it was refreshing not just having MVP doing all the talking for this group, because Shelton can have a solid promo, and he did in this case. Him giving a thumbs down to MJF is very interesting moving forward to what they do, because I feel like now we're going to get to a point where MJF is the last person to have to give him the thumbs down. Will we have that play out to what happens next with MJF's contract that he's holding on to? I'm not sure, but it's definitely going to be interesting. The Christian promo, do I feel like it went on a little long? Yes, but I did like the promo itself. It leading to Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian giving him a concerto at the top of the ramp was chef's kiss on what they are trying to transition. But please, let's not drag this out like other wrestling factions. Call it the matriarchy. They used to be called the patriarchy. Christian's out the way. Nick Wayne is legit Mother Wayne's son. Kip Wayne gets taken in. Let's call it the matriarchy. Let's not beat around the bush here. But I like what they're doing in transition to having this group. Christian having like the most self-awareness in wrestling right now is great for his character. So salute to him. If it leads to eventually Christian leading on to Adam Copeland and regaining their tag team and kind of taking care of his like old dirt in a sense, then let's speed that along and getting Kip and Nick Wayne getting some wins as a tag team. FTR and Young Bucks having a backstage thing. I don't know. I don't want to make it obvious, but it kind of feels like that's what we're leading to, a FTR Bucks finals in this whole tournament. Whatever. It's just, we're going to get solid wrestling. That's it. There's no talking point into that. Hangman and Mox, it slotted at the like 8:45, 9 o'clock hour. Me thinking it was going to be the main event threw me off. But I did like we had a solid storyline going into it. I do like the fact that we ended up having, of course, Hangman retaining. I don't know why anybody was worried, because Hangman was going to retain. But Darby Allin still having his... I swear, man, I'd hate to have Darby Allin as an op, because my man has jumped off every balcony inside Aargon Ballroom just to take out the Death Riders. That is the worst type of op to have. This man has no limits on how he's going to take you out. I'm good. That even leads into Collision. We'll get there. But Hangman winning the right type of fun here in this entire match. Hangman can put on a casual banger anytime he wants to. The star rating aside, like Hangman and Mox put on the banger. I'm saying these tweets on a constant basis. we're now going closer and closer to Hangman getting to that upper echelon where he was supposed to be before the CM Punk fiasco. We're getting closer and closer to Mox going on vacation. I hope he takes Renee's with her, Renee with him, because she needs the vacation as well. Athena and Billy, and the missed opportunity of calling this windstorm of Alex Windsor and Tony Storm. I loved it. It's again a good right amount of fun between all four ladies. I don't care what Twitter says. There is every bit of right that Alex Windsor deserves to be here in the position she's in, next to the AEW Women's World Champion, next to the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Go back to look at, you see that belt Mercedes is carrying, the Rev Pro, the undisputed British Women's Championship. Go back to see when Alex Windsor was carrying that title. It was well worth the title reign. She belongs there. But I'm missing the opportunity to call it Windstorm. That's just my thing, man. But yeah, it was a great bit of chemistry between all four ladies. Athena getting the pinfall. Wow. Bit of foreshadowing. I don't know. I don't want Athena to lose. That's what I'm just going to keep saying. I don't want Athena to lose going into Forbidden Door because that's where Collision led to, her signing the contract for that. I don't want Athena to lose. She does not need another L. But that's neither here nor there. The little backstage of Willow. Listen, I don't care how much AEW... I'm a wrestling fan overall. So any AEW diehards that's going to crucify me for this take, go ahead. Willow Nightingale gives me Bayley vibes from early NXT days when she was the bubbling, hot baby face from back then. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can tell me I'm wrong. You can hold it against me, but that promo she did with Tekla, where she's growing into more curse words and more being very stern about how she feels and what she's going to do in the ring, I loved it. And you have Tekla, who's the perfect incoming new superstar who legitimately had beef with the former president of the company she was coming from. Like, this just works. This is just my right amount of evilness and good guy, bad guy going on, which actually leads into Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet main event. I do not like any of the Mark Briscoe hate we're getting on why we're featuring him more. One, he fucking deserves it. Two, he's a great worker. Three, he's great what he delivers in that ring. And Ricochet being who he is was the perfect correlation between two superstars, the high flying and the technical, that fed into what we got towards the end. Now, of course, Briscoe gets his get back from the ambulance match. I think it was back at Dynasty, if I'm not mistaken. Cool. But it led into MJF, Hangman also being involved. Hangman said in a promo, he mentioned Mark Briscoe. I like where we're now going to announce next week's Dynamite of Briscoe versus Hangman. It gives a little bit added flavor that's needed to give me a little bit of Briscoe versus Hangman. I'm here for it. Let them knock the shit out of each other. That's my great type of wrestling. Collision, it being on Thursday, we know why it was on a Thursday. We're right in the smack dab middle of the buy one, get one free 2-night extravaganza that's currently going on in the other company. So it being on Thursday, I'm here for it. We started off with Brodito. We're here, bang bang, with Gates of Agony. I love GOA. I love everything they were doing in Ring of Honor. They're a great tag team. Them taking the L here, I'm okay with. Listen, they just won some money. They're sharing it with Ricochet. They're good. They're going to be a solid team going forward. I do know that. Same thing goes for Shane Taylor Promotions. They need to remain in there because later in the night they fight Skyflight. I need them. That tag team division needs to stay, and Trios division needs to stay hot in AEW because that was the core of what AEW was supposed to be built upon. Their tag team and Trios divisions. Same thing goes for the AEW Women's Tag Team division because I love the fact that we're, again, showing off all the women being involved. Willow and Tekla. Now we have Ty Mello, Anna Jay coming out there after the match was over. They're trying off Madness with a Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Tony Khan, for the love of God. visa issues, injuries aside, there's enough women to come out and play. Let them have the AEW Women's Tag Team. Dude, announce it for Forbidden Door. Have qualifying matches. We can work here because obviously Forbidden Door, especially when you're now announcing that Athena's cashing in to face Toni Storm, they both work in the same company. Okada versus Swerve for the AEW Unified Championship. They work for the same company. There's no Forbidden Door here unless I know you got announced Tanahashi's going to be at Forbidden Door, but there's no Forbidden Door enough to where you're going to have those AEW Women's Tag Team Championships sitting in the rear view, not in rear view, but sitting in the wings because of talent issues. Use the talent you have, please. That goes into even saying Roosh, who came out there and beat Max Caster's ass for his challenge there. Get LFI into the trios realm here. LFI crossed several different brands and promotions. Get them in the reign for that. Why not? That even leads to Statlander being out there, and I'm stressing here because Statlander is a great talent. We have to use this talent with the championships that are involved as much as possible. If you're going to continue playing with the Statlander Willow relinking because of a need, a necessity in either side, I don't know what it's building towards. I love the bit of unknown here. I would love seeing Willow and Statlander out of sake of necessity, a la Charlotte and Alexa of being the first AEW's Women Tag Team Champions. I wouldn't mind it. That leads to why Alexa is totally, my actual Alexa here is totally messing up the recording. You're doing a lot of talk. Alexa, thank you. I appreciate you. But that leads into Kyle Fletcher and Dustin Rhodes for the TNT Championship. It got to a point that was a little bit much. Getting stabbed with a screwdriver in the knee was a lot, but I digress. Kyle Fletcher, I said in my AEW All-In post-show, Kyle Fletcher deserved his flowers. That was his coronation. I want to see bigger matches going forward with Kyle Fletcher, weekly or every 2 weeks or whatever. Give me El Phantasmo versus Kyle Fletcher at Forbidden Door. Don't be scared to use some of that talent in New Japan because G1 is going on doesn't mean there's other talent there that can be used. Just fantasy booking here. As far as Dustin just re-signed a 5-year contract. He's going to be there for a while. He's obviously retiring there. I'm calling for the vacancy of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles. They haven't been competed for. Throw that in there as another potential match at Forbidden Door, main card or 0 hour, because they got to get vacated. Dustin needs some time. I feel like he's been going a mile a minute. I appreciate everything he's doing for wrestling, but it's time for him to rest, relax. I saw a tweet out there saying not a work, so maybe that means we're going to get some rest out of Dustin. But Kyle Fletcher deserved every bit of the flowers he got for having that TNT match with Dustin and then some. And what it leads to, I hope that it's leading to an upward trajectory for Kyle Fletcher. But this has been my All Elite Week review of this past week's AEW Dynamite and Collision. Again, I'm recording this currently on night 2 of SummerSlam, so you'll be locked in with us when we drop episode 7, which would be our live reactions of part of SummerSlam and what was going on in the world during this past week, including Hulk Hogan's passing. But keep it locked with us. It's been the Bell to Bell podcast at the Bell to Bell Pod on Instagram. Bell, the number 2, Bell Pod at gmail.com is the email. And keep it locked with us. DJ Mainstream, over and out.